Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, human dynamics, everything in between. Today, let's have a little riff on the reality that both women and men will test you. And whether you approach this on a conscious level, perhaps you are dealing with somebody with sociopathic tendencies who wants to see if they can get one over you, which if you are in a workplace, a business, definitely if you were within corporate business, you'll come across these people. These people will be in good positions in these organizations due to these characteristics and traits as to which we're going to discuss. I can only speak on my story. And with me being able to speak on my story, I can speak clearly about how women and men will test men. Okay? But of course, there is a story for everyone on both sides of the field, as women and men will test women in their own unique manner. But as a man, I'm going to speak on women testing us. Women are going to test us to see what we're made of, who we are, where our boundaries are set. And they will cast judgment as to whether they will deem us appropriate for procreation in due time. Or they may compartmentalize us into friends. This person showcases everything I would like in a partner, all the attractive traits I would like in a partner, but I'm just not romantically inclined with this person. I'm not sexually engaged with this person, you see. Now, most red pill content space people would say, get rid of them. Each to their own. It depends. If you want to, you want to. But, you know, there's a silver lining in everything. And when it comes to these particular women, I've done videos on this. You can utilize friendship with women, especially if they're good-looking women, in numerous different ways. All right? Boom, you've got your pre-selection sorted. Boom, you can be seen with attractive women. When it comes to pickup artistry, Mystery, essentially the leading pickup artist or the most mythical name within the field, he would say that having a woman wingman tends to be few and far in between. But speaking from experience, nah, I don't think so. I personally don't think so. And I'll do a different video on this, but in relation to that, just as a little bit of a tangent, you can run a game by asking a girl to show you her most... if you want to hear some non-verbal communication, pick up if I just had a little wobble in my voice there as I sort of stumble to come across the right words to say. You know, there was a lack of motion and momentum in my head as to where I was going as I think back to the hungover state I was the other day as I literally enter this. Ask a woman you may be interested in to show you her most beautiful friends, right? And she'll be proud to do so, to find where she stands and where her friends stand within this market and who you are and what, you know, you show interest in. It's a good method of doing so and essentially putting her in the wayside and engaging this competitive anxiety most women feel to be chosen by the man. And on the flip side, if she is your friend, which is what we were initially speaking of, she can essentially be your wing woman in regards to putting you in front of this person. You know, if you are engaging to a level where she's comfortably and confidently showing you the ins and outs of who she is and her friendships, and these are the people I associate with, so forth, surely you must be in a good position for her to think, wouldn't it be interesting if these two met? Or each to their own. Make sense of it. So A woman will test you, and we do a fair amount of discussion on this channel in regards to the inevitable tests. You'll be more so tested by a woman who feels she is competitive, if not above you, as far as value is concerned. And that can be troublesome if you don't shoot down that sense of superior self-worth in her early. Because me personally, I can't look at a man and respect him if his missus is just testing him 20 times over a day, embarrassing him in front of everyone, just trying to get at him. That's disrespectful, right? In my personal opinion, you can't go without these little things here and there, but sometimes when it's so consistent, and once you start to become perceptive of it and you get yourself out and you date regular and you come across some women who are like this, who essentially put themselves in somewhat of a masculinized position, it's an automatic no for me. And having been there and done that when I was young and naive, it brings a lot of trouble, man. It brings a lot of trouble. It's always combative, as well as her being engaged throughout the entirety of it, because no doubt it's completely emotionally driven, the back and forth you're always having. It's just, as a man, if you want to simplify it as much as possible, I wouldn't recommend it personally. I would not recommend it personally, you know? But each to their own. Once again, we speak generally here. We allow yourselves and myself to look at the spectrum as a whole and identify what we like, what we understand, what we disagree with, what we don't agree with, and we formulate these opinions, and it opens this fantastic train of thought, right? I'm not going to tell you what is and what isn't, because that's not the way we work, man. And I don't want to try and convince you on something you might not necessarily believe in. I want to open discussion, okay? So, whilst the woman tests the man to see where he stands in relation to her and what he's made of, on the same parallel, the man will do the same. Or at least the man who feels discomfort in your presence, or the man who is insecure and needs to know where you are and can't necessarily pinpoint it just by observation. He feels like he has to probe you, push you, non-verbally sun you, and you'll be able to perceive this stuff. And submission is completely fine in the realm of masculinity, because we can't go around in life expecting to just barge through every single person we find. At some point, we have to say, you're right. At some point, we have to say, he's rightful to act in that manner towards me. You have to keep yourself reserved and resolute and understand the way the system works. If we go on a date, yes, if I am dating a woman and some man of incredible stature walks in, some man who has definitely got it all, is well recognised for what he's got, and he's got tenfold above and beyond what I have, I won't allow it to touch me deeply. I won't allow myself to comment or acknowledge that, because in my world it doesn't matter, but I would be foolish to think that the woman would not give him some degree of attention on a non-conscious level. So this whole dynamic of submission and dominance, it happens outside of your awareness, whether you like it or not. But as you stay stubborn in place and continue to push yourself forward up through the ranks over the days, over the months, over the years, and you know who you are, what you're worth, where you're going, and how one you are, the idea that another man is in a position above and beyond you in whichever realm should not be an issue. It should be understood, and it's a biological reality. But with that being said, the majority of men will act on insecurity when that man is present, but we, as understanding and perceptive of that, know exactly how to act and react, to indirectly place ourselves in a position above and beyond them when they open up their mouths and they don't have the game we have. Because that man who's got everything also has nothing, because everything is balanced. So what he has comes a steep, steep, steep fall in the dark recesses and the shadow of his psyche, okay? He hasn't learnt the lessons of the man who's had nothing and made something because he's been given it, perhaps. Through his ambition in the gym 24 hours a day, it's only worked to over-concentrate his observation of his self. So he can't allow himself to leave the I, the ego, and he becomes this insecure being, although aesthetically speaking, he should be what is attractive, but he has created this counteractive monster within his entity. Us being aware of these things and finding reason to be balanced and understanding and accepting of who we are, place ourselves above and beyond. Now, going back, the man will test you to see where you stand in the pecking order, to see when you say no, to see when you say stop, to see if you emotionally react when you say so. Because it's one thing saying, please don't do that, but it's another thing to say, please don't do that in an emotional and distressed manner, as to where that person can say, okay, I won't, but you've given him acknowledgement of where you stand. He's bullied you, okay? Don't get me wrong, you've spoken up. But there is nothing more threatening than a man who can reserve his emotional status and communicate in a means that can strike into the heart of man. Boldness, okay? So you will be tested. You will be tested. If you hold yourself consistently and you align yourself with people who make sense, so if you are in the dating market and you are not shooting above and beyond your means, i.e. you are not delusional and feel you deserve a woman who has a value 10 times above and beyond you, because you as a man have not got it sorted out. You are not attaining success in your purpose and your life story. You're too busy trying to pursue a woman purely for the sake that she looks good. You will be tested a lot more than understanding who you are, focusing on yourself and dealing with the women who actually like you. Because if they actually like you, they will find less means of testing you. They'll be more comfortable with you. You will engage better with them because you won't be shaking in your boots, you see. And when it comes to the women who go out of the way to test you, if you're me, and it becomes too overt and too combative and competitive, respectfully, I'll say, okay, you're not the one for me. And whether they want to continue pursuing me in a more feminized and submissive state in understanding my bold declaration of who I am, because that's the reality, right? I'm not going to continue hanging in this space. You were testing me, and this is your answer. This is where I'm standing. I'm not going to fire back and give you this playful, consistent acceptance of you trying to push my buttons. You do it so much above and beyond what I'm used to. If you break that threshold, I'll give you the ultimate resolution to what you were prompting for. Perhaps on a subconscious basis, I'll walk away. Fine. In a bit. As it comes with the men, they will test you. You will sit back, and when they feel it's right to hit you that third time, you say don't. And then they stop testing you. And if anything, they get a little bit wobbly around you. And then the women around you and that man sees how that man who treats everybody else in the same manner, who rolls over and showcases their belly to them in response to their, implied dominance, and that man does not treat you in the same way because he knows where you stand, the women will come to you. That's some good game. And on that note, I'm signing out, people. So click like and subscribe as always. 2 links down in the description. One will take you through to my catalogue of body language. 220 plus videos, how to read people through their subconscious behaviours. You'll learn how to read minds. Second to that is the Patreon. The Patreon will have you join me in watching videos of people go on their first dates. I'll break down the attraction body language, the repulsion body language. No matter where you live on planet Earth, the behaviour is hardwired within us. You will find it in your day-to-day. That's the real game. I'm signing out. Peace.